Somewhere in your phone right now, there's a savings account with less money in it than you planned. You've promised to fix it, you've met it every time. And every month something happens between the promise and the deposit. Here's what nobody has told you. The problem isn't your discipline. The problem is that your brain is running software that treats saving money as a genuine, measurable loss. Not a metaphorical loss, a real one. And once you see how that software works, you'll never blame yourself the same way again. Start with a strange question. When you move $100 from your checking account into savings, what have you actually lost? Nothing, right? The money is still yours. It's arguably safer than before. On paper, saving is the one financial move with no downside, and yet your brain doesn't read the paper. Your brain reads feelings, and to the feeling part of your brain, that $100 just vanished. It left the pool of money you can spend today. It stopped being pizza and gas and concert tickets and became a number you're not allowed to touch. Your ancient wiring registers that as one thing, loss. In 1979, two psychologists named Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky published a paper that would eventually win a Nobel Prize and quietly explain half of your financial life. They discovered something called loss aversion. In experiment after experiment, they found that losing something hurts roughly twice as much as gaining the same thing feels good. Find $100 on the street and you feel a pleasant little lift. Lose $100 from your wallet and it ruins your afternoon. Same amount. Twice the emotional weight. The scale inside your head is rigged and it's rigged toward pain. Now apply that rigged scale to saving. The pleasure of saving lives in the future, it's abstract. A slightly bigger number someday maybe. But the cost of saving lives right now, today, in the concrete world of things you can no longer buy. Present loss versus future gain judged by a brain that weighs losses double. Saving isn't a fair fight. It was never a fair fight. Why would evolution build you this way? Because for almost all of human history, the future was not a safe place to store things. Your ancestors couldn't bank calories, meat rotted, fruit spoiled. Rivals and weather took what you set aside. The winning strategy for hundreds of thousands of years was brutally simple. Consume what you have while you still have it. The humans who felt a sharp sting whenever resources slipped out of reach today, those humans survived. You are their descendant, you inherited their alarm system. And now that alarm fires every time you try to do the single most responsible thing money allows. But it gets stranger, because the question isn't just why saving feels bad. It's who you think you're saving for. A neuroscientist at UCLA named Hal Hershfield put people inside brain scanners and asked them to think about 3 different people. Themselves today, a stranger, and themselves 10 years in the future. Here is the unsettling part. When people thought about their future self, their brain activity looked less like thinking about themselves, and more like thinking about the stranger. Read that again. On a neurological level, the person you're saving for is not you, it's some other guy. A distant acquaintance with your name, and be honest. How much of your paycheck would you hand to a distant acquaintance? That's the real reason the deposit never happens. Every time you save, your brain believes it is taking money away from you, a real person with real desires. Standing in a real store and giving it to a stranger you've never met. The loss is vivid, the beneficiary is a ghost. Of course you hesitate, anyone would. There's a third force working against you, and it hides inside your paycheck itself. Psychologists call it the default effect. Whatever happens automatically wins. Spending is the default state of money. It sits in your checking account, prepositioned for purchase, one tap from gone. Saving for most people requires a deliberate act, a decision. A small ceremony of self-denial performed while tired at the end of the month, with whatever happens to be left over. You're not weak for losing that battle. You're fighting your rigged loss scale on behalf of a stranger, using willpower as your only weapon. The house always wins that game, so how do you beat a rigged game? You stop playing it. And the proof comes from one of the most quietly successful experiments in economic history. An economist named Richard Thaler and a colleague named Shlomo Ben-Artzi designed a program called Save More. Tomorrow. The idea sounds almost too simple. Instead of asking workers to save more today, they asked workers to commit a slice of their future raises to Savings. Money they didn't have yet. Money they'd never held, never touched, never mentally spent. And the results were staggering. In the first companies that tried it, average saving rates more than tripled within a few years. People who had failed at saving for decades suddenly succeeded without feeling a thing. Why did it work? Look at what it removed. Saving from a future raise means no loss today, so loss aversion never fires. The commitment is automatic, so the default flips from spending to saving. And the sacrifice is assigned to your future self, the stranger who, it turns out, you're perfectly happy to. Volunteer for things. Every psychological trap you just learned about reversed and turned into a weapon. That's the twist hiding in all of this. The forces that make saving feel like pain are the same forces that can make saving effortless. They don't care which direction they push you. They only care about defaults, timing, and who feels the loss. Rearrange those three things, and the rigged scale starts working for you. Here's what that looks like in your actual life. First, make saving invisible. Set an automatic transfer that moves money to savings the morning your paycheck lands, before you ever see it. In checking, money you never saw is money you never lost. The insula stays quiet. No alarm, no pains, no willpower required. People who automate their savings don't save more because they're stronger than you. They save more because they've arranged never to feel the loss at all. Second, shrink the distance to the stranger. Hirschfield ran a follow-up experiment where people interacted with digitally aged photos of their own faces before making a savings decision. The people who met their older selves saved significantly more. You don't need software for this. Write one sentence about a specific day in your future, not retirement, a morning, a place. What you're doing, who's there. The more detailed the picture, the more your brain files that person under me instead of stranger, and the easier it becomes to send them money. Third, tie increases to raises, exactly like Thaler's program. The next time your income goes up, move half the increase into savings before your lifestyle discovers it. I exist. You'll feel no loss because you never lived on that money. Your spending stays identical. Your savings quietly compound. Notice what none of these strategies involve. Discipline. Budgeting apps you'll abandon, feeling guilty in the checkout line. The entire self-help industry has spent decades telling you that saving is a character issue, that you need to. Want it more, try harder, be better. The research says something kinder and far more useful. You are a normal human running ancient software in a modern world, and the software has settings. You just found them. One last thing. The sting you feel when money moves out of reach, that flare of resistance when you try to transfer $100 to savings, it isn't going away. It's older than agriculture, but now you know what it actually is. It's not the truth about your finances. It's not a signal that you can't afford to save. It's an alarm built for a world of rotting meat and stolen caches, firing in a world of insured bank accounts. It's allowed to ring, you're allowed to ignore it. Somewhere in your phone right now, there's a savings account with less money in it than you planned. It was never measuring your discipline. It was measuring how well your ancient brain hid the game from you. And starting today, the game is visible.